A man whose unique view of life has greatly influenced modern art.
It all depends on how inspired I feel.
Oh, I try to do big, simple designs.
The more I look at it, the more I like it.
I don't set out to be controversial. I do what I want to do.
What's up, gang? This is Richie Rich, and this is I See What You're Saying, and the podcast where we talk to artists about what it is that they do. Today, I'm lucky enough to have fine art painter Gabe Gault, fresh off of his largest mural in America project, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the podcast. So just tell us, first of all, where can people find your work?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok now, which is a big deal. And I have a website, gabegault.com. So I'm a little bit all over the place.
You look cool, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. I like your cut, man. You got it nice and clean.
It's a rental.
Yeah.
Not
It's a
even mine.
rental.
Cool. So just give us a brief bio.
Yeah. So my name's Gabe Gault. I live in Los Angeles, California. I grew up in Venice Beach. And my family, they kind of migrated to the Valley. So now I live in the Valley with my fiance. And I've been painting kind of my whole life, like many artists. They kind of been drawing, since they were a little kid. I started to get serious about it after college. And then I did like an internship.
Was it art school or?
College for me was Santa Monica College. So I took SMC for 2 years. I did like their art program there. And that was fun. And that was like pretty easy for me, I would say. It was something that I just like did in my spare time, but now it's just homework, So that was a fun mix up, like right out of high school. I went there with my good friend actually from high school, and we just kind of fooled around the whole time. So it was a blast.
You probably had figure drawing.
Yeah, so figure drawing was probably my favorite course.
Naked ladies or whatever, right?
Yeah, totally. Old men, dong.
Large.
So,
oh, dude, did you ever have? Oh, dude. Okay, lots of weird scarification, nipple scars. We had
that's
Earl.
pretty awesome.
Did you ever have Earl? Okay,
Earl, is he old bald guy?
Dude, tattooed on his head. He had a tattoo on his head. He was in Blade. He was like one of the vampires in Blade.
No, I wish I had that guy.
Dude, okay,
What?
so I went to Laguna College in the Canyon. And
Yeah.
we had figure drawing. So it was like, it wasn't fresh, nubile bodies. It was everybody. So it was like, we had a lot
Wow.
of, my favorite people to draw were the real lumpalicious folks because it was just a bunch of
Yeah, yeah.
circles,
That's I love it.
Lumpal stiltskins, dude. Because it wasn't like all the real sinewy, muscly, like runner type bodies.
Yeah.
Man, I had it. That's
The
too
ol-
much anatomy. I'm not,
The older I get, the more lumpified I get, so I can relate for sure.
Hey, dude, you're gonna be dad bod in no time.
Oh, it started. So it started a couple years ago, to
Okay.
be honest with you.
IPA.
So I'm growing into it. Yeah. I had a whole beer phase, which I had to get out of because that just, fastened the process of that. And then I had a whole wine phase. And next thing you know, I'm just like, making dad jokes all day. So it's kind of how it starts.
So when it came
Yeah.
to figure drawing in SMC, my favorite part of art school was when
Mhm.
the project is done and
Yeah.
you turn it in and it's the critique mode. So everybody puts everything on the wall. Did you
Mhm.
just crush it at the critique? So you could always see a Gabe Gault on the wall. And you could always see the kid who maybe shouldn't be in art class, but was like really giving it the old college try, right?
I think I had a couple of those moments where like I felt personally like my work stood out from everybody else in the class, because I always kind of modeled myself after people who were already well established. So I looked up to like James Jean a lot with his kind of intricate drawings, fantasy drawings. That's what I kind of strive to be. And I feel like that helped me at that time be better at figure drawing because I was aiming to kind of be on his level instead of like a college level.
Probably Warhol is one of your progenitors, just like me.
Totally.
I couldn't not credit Warhol. It's even if I didn't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to,
I mean, yeah, I think like personally, I got my style. Like, I guess I got to give you the whole backstory for this. So I dropped out after 2 years and did an internship with my mentor, Rob Pryor. And he was like a commercial artist for 30 plus years. and we were doing all sorts of like odd jobs, and he was owner of a heavy metal magazine at the time.
Oh,
And
dope.
so we
Dude.
were, yeah. And so we were doing some dope, random jobs. Like I did some stuff for Ninja Turtles and Kevin Eastman, to like stuff for the magazine, concept art, video game
Ninja
art.
Turtles. So for like the comic book, or
Yeah, like the comic book. So I
I'm
was like a
you're
colorist for that.
you're not like 70. I know you didn't
I
work
know.
on TMNT in the 80s or
not
whatever.
the OG one, but they had a couple, I think, pages in Heavy Metal Mag at the time, and then they had he had a bunch of prints that he needed to be colorized for like Comic-Con or something like that.
These are paid gigs most of the time, right? Or
Yeah, I mean, I was like maybe 18, 19, and then it'd be like, hey, you want to drop these off in San Diego for $400? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
That's
I'll
actually
do
pretty
that.
I can buy
Yeah.
one bag of weed and gas and a burrito. And that's like $1
Hey,
million to an 18-year-old. Me,
dude,
I got tattooed or whatever. Instead of
yeah.
I should have been
That's
buying the S&P 500, but kids, you can't tell nobody, can't tell a kid nothing. You
Oh
know,
man, I'd be a gazillionaire by now if I knew what I knew now. But
dude,
of course, that's how the world is.
it's funny. And how much stuff did you ever do for free in like your journey? You must have done one or two things, because it's like I'm planting that seed and it just might make it happen.
Oh yeah, there's been too many of those. I feel like I've paid my dues of like doing
One more.
freebies or getting ripped off. I mean, you know the story. It's like
Exposure.
that's the biggest.
Big
So I've
exposure.
been saying for a while, exposure is like the biggest scam in the
Dude,
world.
if you
at this
expose
point.
yourself, you get arrested. You can't
Yeah,
you can die of exposure. You can go to prison.
that's
Anyway.
true. I can offer you indecent exposure.
Yeah,
How's that sound?
it is indecent, because guess what? Lindsay Lohan didn't
I'm
give a
kidding.
shit or whatever, like this is so funny. In my
Oh my
LA
God.
journey, we all moved to I moved to LA from San Diego, which is like
Yeah.
another planet, dude, because that's where the people
SD,
have money.
baby.
This is
Yeah.
this is before the internet and the Instagram, and you could just promo a post and things could happen. So I moved to LA to make it happen. And along many of the exposure journey twats that came my way, one of which was a subset designer wanted me to do a painting of Paula Abdul for some E-channel show about her house. And I was like, sick, what's the budget? They're like, oh yeah, no. I was just like,
Oh my God.
and at that time I was like less
What?
than negative broke. Like my rent was $500, and that might have
Yeah.
that should have been $1 million when I was like 20.
Yeah,
Now it's different, but then then it was
it's definitely different.
the goalpost has moved though. Like now it's just like, oh, now I don't need a Porsche, but I don't not need a private jet.
I can agree with that.
I don't have a
definitely, I need a Porsche. I don't care what I have to do to get that Porsche, but one day,
there's things.
one day, there's things I can do. Let's just say that. But
You're getting really good. Well, we all know a guy. I know I got a guy.
We all know I got a guy.
I got some guys south of the 8 East anyway. But so speaking of exposing yourself, tell me about and forgive me for how scattered this is. This is literally episode 1. This is episode 1.
This is how
dude.
I think. So, oh, nice.
Yeah.
I needed like a clap track or something on here.
I'll edit it in post.
Nice. I like it.
I'm gonna put like goblins and just characters. No, I won't. I probably won't. But holler at like down below. Holler at the button. I suck, dude. I'm just old. So I don't know.
That's all it takes to make a podcast now.
By the way,
don't
dude,
you know?
I was on the talk, and I don't know. I just I mean, I should probably get back on the talk, but I put the Tyler on there. It got a little bit of attention, but I just
nice.
For me, my thing is, dude. Tell me if this is the case for you.
Yeah.
Anything that isn't just making the fucking art to me is like a baffling proposition, and I get like depressed or something.
Oh yeah.
So starting the website, doing the fucking promo, we have to do it like pulling teeth, and I'm just barely getting into it. Hence the pod. I want to talk to artists whose work I dig, whose work seems to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
I
agree, man. Like depression is a huge part of being an artist at this point. I feel like one is in the same. I was depressed maybe this afternoon for some stupid shit. And
Yeah.
then I was like, what am I doing?
I was laying in
Why
bed
am I depressed?
20 minutes before we did this, and these chicks were cackling next door, and I was like, I gotta postpone it because the universe is against me, and Gabe won't like me, and I look like Bert Kreischer on camera.
What is that damn crackling?
What is that damn cackle? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's totally not. And the world's not against us. It's just us, our minds against us. And that's what I gotta always keep in mind. But there are factors. I feel like for any up and coming artists, I always say like have like a second source of everything. Have a second hobby source, not just art. Have like a second money source if you can. That was probably my biggest mistake, is having it be my main source. And I would have been much happier like with a side something that wasn't too time consuming, plus doing art would have been better.
Tell me if this is the case when you are living solely as a painter or artist. Is that then the aesthetic choices you're making in terms of, say, the reference you're painting, is you're thinking in terms of collector instead of like your own kind of ethos, which is something I wrestle with in a major way, because we're doing pop. Really, it's pop no matter how you slice it.
It is.
We're thrusting it in our own direction. I wanted to give you props too on you're doing fine art painting that's fairly straightforward, and it's really hard to do that in a way where it's your own voice and you're doing that. And so that's why I wanted to talk to you, because
thank you.
I don't like a lot of fine art painters because they're not doing it differently, right? So you got to get beyond the academics. One of my favorite things about your stuff is the background, like calligraphy.
Thank you. The camouflage. Yeah. The background
camouflage.
Dude,
I want that on a just a like I want the like on a jacket too.
Oh, that'd be nice. I'm trying to actually get into like the apparel stuff as well. My second hobby is fashion, so that's kind of my getaway from art, and I want to at some point bridge the two. I'm working on stuff, but fashion is very expensive, man. It's very expensive and takes a long time. And by the time you get that out, something new in your head arrives, or like that's out of fashion or whatever. Like it's crazy.
Our trick, dude, is this paradox of making stuff that's easy to read, and really, because we're doing pop, it's easy to read, which makes it flavorful for a lot of people. So in other words, we're not like reaching at like high concept Mark Rothko colorways, and how do I say this in a way that doesn't offend both of us?
No, I know
it goes down real easy, the pop aesthetic. So
it does.
How do we do it in a way that isn't driven by like the public's interest of it? Like that's what I deal with all the time. Who do I paint next, dude?
Yeah, I think that it gets to a point where like you do run out of subjects, right? As like an artist, you don't want to paint every pop figure person. You don't want to paint everybody who's in the limelight.
I haven't done Basquiat yet, dude, and I want to.
Yeah,
I want to.
I think that'd be a good one. Like I love paintings of artists and stuff, and I think there's certain subject matters you can always find like a kind of a different branch of people that are inspiring to you. Like I think artists are cool to paint if you're going to do pop art. Musicians are sometimes a hit or miss to me. But my biggest problem I was running into is why I'm kind of branching out a little bit now and doing a little bit more of like people I know, but are doing something successful in their own right, or doing something that's prolific in my opinion and inspires me. And they're may be, well known, but they're not like,
so they're niche
A-list celebrities. Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like that's a cool middle ground where you can make something that looks super original. Like my biggest problem with pop art when I'm doing it, or when I was doing it more so, was finding the like right photos and stuff, because sometimes you'll see like photos that can be used a lot, which I used a lot of those photos, but it's hard to make those look different. Like it's a harder strain on your head to make it look like you and look different because you've seen the image a lot. But I think you did a great job, like with the Tyler one. Like that looks like a very new thing, like new piece of Tyler, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, like I love the way you did that in the Grace Jones, right?
Yeah, it's funny because those are almost the same painting in terms of it's a black and gray colorway. using a
Yeah.
blockhead kind of, which is just, if you look at the Tyler, it is overtly shaped like his album art, which is,
Yeah, man.
I've never done something from contemporary culture because I'm always trying to like pick from relatively obscure references, because I want to shine a light on Klaus Nomi, the opera singer. No one knows who that is, who's our age, or really anybody. But he's like got these shapes, and I just had to paint him. So when it came to doing floating head number 5, which is Tyler, picked Tyler because his face was in my head and it never stopped like talking. And like I'll have like 14 ideas in my head and they'll just fade, and then one will just be there.
Yeah.
And I also
That's
too,
funny.
dude, a side note, try to go viral sometimes. Try to do it. That's always like in the back of my, like if I had a stove and my dreams are the stove, that the back burner is always like, it's gonna fucking happen, man. They're gonna get it. And so the Tyler head was that one of those heads. But
that's awesome. Yeah, like the whole viral aspect of it, kind of going back to that point, it's also another interesting concept of being an artist, because you're your own business, right? And it's like you want people to be able to see your business, or like
eyeballs,
see all the eyeballs just watching you. And that's a hard one too, is like figuring out what's working constantly on each platform. So like going to Instagram and figuring out like, okay, like do I use hashtags or whatever is going on, or like but right now it's all about like TikTok. So it's like I had a viral TikTok recently that just like exploded. It had like 1.3 million, and like it took me from like 6,000 followers on TikTok to 18,000 followers in like one video. So it's like so it's like the growth is crazy. Like you can't do that on Instagram. You can't do that anymore.
Unless you pay impossible. $500 and then you get 16,000 teenagers who are doing
but then you get like
art, and they're not buying art or something.
But even if you pay that much, it's like you'll get eyes on it, but that doesn't mean it's like interacting or likes or whatever, or people followers. It's just like people will see. It's like if you pass by like a billboard outside, like you'll see it, but like who's going to go to that website of cleanyourteeth.com? Like maybe not that many people.
Dude, on the 5, fix the gap guy, the fix the gap billboard. It's been there for like it's the new guy. It's the new guy now. It's like an old guy.
New guy every time.
Dude, I was gonna use that stupid service until I just got braces and I didn't have to rip any teeth out. So
you got great teeth.
Yeah, because they're all totally fake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to.
You got the good grill.
Thanks.
In like 10 years, I got to get a new one. So
shit.
Yeah, I had like shitty dentition growing up because we're Irish pig dogs who came here on a boat, and we landed in the coal mine or whatever. So, but my grandmother. She moved us out to California. So I was raised, like I said, in a bowl of guacamole. And I realized I can't live in the cold. I want to be where the culture is popping, where Gabe Gault lives. I wanted to. So speaking of exposing oneself, I wanted to go back to that really quick because
I'm very familiar with this.
It's enticing for America. Okay, so tell me about this project. Whether you've already talked blue in the hold on. I wanted to go back to that TikTok in a minute, but tell us about the river walls.
Glass City River Wall.
Glass City River Wall. What is the deal? It's the largest mural in America. Is that correct?
Largest in the nation. So yes, it's very big. It's about 3 football fields long, 135 foot tall, and it is a monster, man. It's probably the biggest thing I'll ever do in my life. I'm hoping, because after this, I want to go just way smaller, or like 1/4 the size.
Just take a siesta for like 2 months.
Yeah, that part. And I think we use about 4,000 gallons so far of paint, and that's been like it's just been a ridiculous amount of everything. Like whatever you do for a mural, you like scale it up times 20, and that's what it basically was.
20 people at least or something, right?
Team of 6 artists and then like 30 plus people behind the scenes working it, and like donators and stuff. So it's been a pretty insane journey the past year and a half. I've been basically working on it since then. So yeah, it's kind of also consumed my life. Like everything that comes in work wise is like just kind of pushed to the side or like dissipate somewhere else, while I'm working on this thing. So
This has been
that's
over
been
a
a
year.
commitment. Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
it looks like I mean, this is also looking at it on Instagram where everything looks like a sticker or something.
Yeah,
In terms of
that's
scale,
true.
you just don't. So it looks like you hopped on a plane, you got there a month ago, and then this like gigantic daisies appeared, and just like it looks
I
like
wish it was a month.
you're just like
That's
art
the-
Jesus. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So if you
And
don't
just
want
like paint
to
shoots from my fingertips at will. I'm like art, fucking Sith Lord of art. Just
word. Okay. Well,
That's what I'm feeling.
lay some of that Sith juice
Palpatine.
on America, let them know.
Yeah.
So without reliving it, if you don't want to go into super detail, how does something like that get put together? Why were you chosen if there were others up for that project?
I'm glad you asked. So it's a interesting happening of events. So there was a call for artists, and I was like the artist chosen out of like 200 artists plus,
Holy
and
shit.
we all submitted designs. That was the one they chose for the project, and it was it was slightly different from what design we settled on, because there was about a year of redoing the design and painting assets and getting like a crew together and everything. So we had a lot of time to figure out like what the final thing is going to look like. But I feel like it's all kind of connections and stuff as well to get to that point and to figure out like how to execute this thing. It's been a crazy journey where like the people on the team are just super talented artists, and I don't know like where this project would be without them. And some of the guys, like the main two guys, Dino and Nick Corbin, who's an amazing like videographer, they reached out to me like during the end of the process. I would say the end of the whole, like a couple months till we hit the ground running on and painting. So they're kind of like at the lead now, and they reached out to me, and I was like, hey, yeah, like just I'll forward you to Christina, the project kind of runner, and my manager, and we'll see what can happen. And now it's like, they're kind of the glue that's holding it all together. So yeah, it's been a crazy
And it's still
wild
going,
ride.
right? It's still
going, man. Yeah,
holy.
that's the part too. So we have like, I would say it's like 3/4 done right now. So it has like we're on the home stretch, I guess you could say. We have like part of it finished. We have 3 portraits we have to do, which are going to be like 135-foot tall portraits. So it's kind of like, we got a lot of detail to fit into there.
Are you familiar with El Mac?
Oh yeah, I love him. He's one of my favorites.
He's like probably how I learned to situate light on a face, really. I think I was biting Mac early San Diego because you would see him around, and now he's doing like water towers. And now,
dude,
the famous, powerful Gabe Gault, you are like now on the level, dude. Like,
I should.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get to that level.
What are we talking about?
I appreciate that a lot. I don't know if I'm quite at that level yet.
I did a 32-foot wall. The biggest wall I've ever done, 32 feet, Boomtown Brewery. You can go to DTLA. It's off Santa Fe.
Nice.
It's 32 feet. And I thought I was like Frank Lloyd Wright or something.
32 feet ain't no joke, man. I did a
by the way, no assistant, nobody helped. No, there were people
see,
there. That's not true.
I think I did a 35-foot wall by like, it was like 35 foot by like 30 or something foot wide or something. And that was like a lot of work. It's like,
especially
crazy.
There's always the wind, and I use like a stencil process, and there's always flappadoodling, and oh my god! And then the one day
you're fitting in more detail in there too, though.
I got to fix David Bowie's nostril or whatever, and it's the one day that the wind is kicking up all kinds of just homelessness dust.
Right.
Whatever's that. We're supposed to be up on a cherry picker painting 1,000 square foot strawberries or whatever, sunflowers. You cut out. I can no longer see you.
There we go. I got a call.
Talk to Gabe's hand.
Can you see me now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was just doing the hand thing. I was just messing with it.
I was trying to like hold your
patty
hand
cake.
through the
screen. A little patty cake.
I was getting a call and then my screen just freaked out. So
Well, dude, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
I don't want to take up your whole entire night, but I think I could talk
dude,
to
you're
you
all
for
good.
hours and hours, but we don't
Yeah,
have to do
man.
that. If I had to
We can
ask
talk
you,
more if you want. I'm
okay,
I'm
cool,
around.
because I'm
It's
gonna
good to
edit.
see you in person too.
I
So
know it's so rad because it's
yeah,
like you only see people on the little thing,
I
and
know.
people don't really get on the horn anymore. Like you don't really, I can't. Nobody gets on the phone. I got one friend who
Mm.
FaceTimes me, and I'm like, dude, I'm on the toilet. Just call me. Like
I'm
we
on the
can,
toilet. Oh, you want me to prove it? All
yeah,
right. Well, here you go.
we can talk on the toilet. I just don't need to FaceTime you. I don't have my like teeth in.
Yeah, man. Give us some space over here. We gotta.
So I want to ask you of
Yeah.
the work that you've done, the largest mural in America, notwithstanding, which is a super
Yeah.
awesome achievement. So that's
Thank you.
proud to know you now. Is what do you think is your strongest in terms of portraiture, where it was like, you know, when you have these moments as a painter where you're on your journey
Yeah.
and you think you got your thing, but then you break through, you know, you're like, oh shit, I painted like whatever trippy red or something, and that was maybe a commission. But moments like, for me, it was Marcel Duchamp,
Yeah.
Floating Head #3. That was when it was like, oh,
Nice.
this is like actual painting now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
not to make it about me, but I am kind of a narcissist. This is my podcast. I'm just kidding. But
When I was a child, no.
when I was a girl
When I was a girl in Brooklyn, New York.
living on Starline Street, I knew a girl on Starline Street. We really are artists, man. We're just weirdos.
Yeah, no, I feel like there was a couple pieces for me that really just changed my trajectory of things. And it was like specifically maybe the first camo piece I did, which was like it's kind of a collaboration between me and this guy, Rick, who was a big inspiration on my current kind of direction and style.
Pulling him up on the gram, y'all. I'm not.
Hey, let's go.
Dude. So I'm gonna I'll try and attach like links and stuff, but this is Gabe's mural, which I'll try and, I don't know how to do any of this, but I'm gonna try and attach links and stuff to some of your awesome stuff, dude. So
no, for sure. And
sorry to interrupt.
No,
sorry.
no, it's all good. I mean, show my stuff. That's
Rad.
totally fine with me.
Tony Bourdain, it was, babies.
Oh yeah, that was another one of those changing,
kind of a breakthrough thing, right?
It was just a bigger scale that I just never worked on before. So there was a Tupac one I did with a background. Tupac had a Kaepernick jersey on, and then I did a series of Tupac, MLK, and Cesar Chavez, and they were all, you know, in Kaepernick jerseys during the time he kneeled, and all that stuff kind of went down. Right. And then so that was like for the We Rise show, which happened like every year. There's this big gallery, like museum, actually. To be honest, they just have like a bunch of.
What city?
It's in downtown LA, and it was all curated by like Shepard Fairey. So every piece that went in there, he would like.
I gotta get involved, man. I never do anything. I never showed any work really anywhere.
It's hard. It's not easy to like.
You know why, dude?
Jump in there. You know,
I think it's for me.
Even when you show up, you know, it can be hard.
I don't want to give any gallery, and I'm going to say this out loud every podcast I do. Mm-hmm. I'm anti-gallery insofar as I dig the space. The work belongs in a stunning space, shiny floors, epoxy, whatever. I ain't giving you 50%, motherfucker. I'm never giving a kid from Yale 50% of my dick ever.
That's where it gets very
it's my life,
overall. Yes, I feel like that's been my life up until now. Like I've been selling perfectly fine without galleries, and now it's like at this point where I'm selling, but now it's like at a point where I am going to start looking for some gallery representation just to get in that space, and that's where it gets like annoying because it's not.
Can I ask?
You're not relying on yourself, but.
Yeah, you know? Well, you're
like I'm doing perfectly fine without it, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I want to get to here.
So it's financial.
For me, it's like a Sotheby's next level goal, where like eventually you get put into that kind of space, and then you get put into like museum like you can do museum stuff without that, but it just gets like very political, which is like not what artists always want to get into, but that's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a make or break, but it's definitely like if you want to make some Damien Hirst money before you die, then you got to start thinking about that stuff, which sucks.
It's interesting
Don't get me
that
wrong.
you say that. It's interesting. So it is, I've always said that my work is, I don't even make it for the collector, because it's for a museum 100 years from now. And that's the way I have always thought of it, even when it was dog shit. And I always believed in my stuff. And I think the difference now is that I realize that I might just have started, really, where 20 years ago I would have been like, how come nobody's buying my handmade t-shirts and they're not giving me thousands and thousands of dollars the day I moved to LA? And now I'm like, dude, because you just got good like 2 years ago. You found a voice 2 years ago. So when it comes to entertaining galleries, you aiming, and myself too, aiming towards this sort of really lofty Sotheby's, Christie's world, which is naturally where we would want to go if we're doing anything that we really are good at or believe in. Is do you think that, how do I say this? I want to do some pieces that are kind of going to be not woke, because they're in my head. They're in my head. Yeah. And I like that. I'm thinking about them, like, especially after an IPA.
Do it.
Right. And after like 3 beers, I'm like, I got to do Al Jolson in fluorescent green, because I want to comment on whatever that comment is in my head when I'm drunk. Then I wake up and I'm like, I could never put that on the gram. You know what I mean? So it's like, but
I've had a couple drunk painting thoughts as well. But
who do you want to do?
I wake up the next day, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Gabe Gault.
I don't know if I should have done that.
Presents hot pink Adolf Hitler. It's like, whoa, he went a different way from. He went a different way from like Kehinde Wiley or whatever, you know.
Sporting his Hugo Boss attire.
Hugo Boss. Yeah, I can't get Al Jolson out of my head, which is fucked up. And then I wake up and I'm like, it's such a horrific image. And sometimes I think that, well, this is funny because I think the work that I'm doing sometimes is too safe or something. And then I start wrestling with, dude, should I do some shocking art? And then I think, is that coming from your truest like heart or something?
Well, I kind of going back to, I totally forgot to say this because I lost track. We were just kind of going, but I basically, after like my internship, we were all working on this comic book. We all kind of got laid off, and then I was like, oh, let me pursue fine art. And then, I wasn't making any money. I was breaking even. Then I was like, I can do this for a living. And then during the kind of Tupac, when I was making the Tupac Kaepernick one, which was kind of like a light bulb turning on, but it was like, okay, I'm going to take 5 of my favorite artists that are alive and are dead, but mostly like alive. And then I'm going to take an element from each one that I really like. And then I'm going to mix myself in that pool, in that kind of mixing pot. And I think that's a good way to, like, there were some things like, I love Shepard Fairey's boldness. And then I love, Andy Warhol's this. I love Kehinde Wiley's, like, his poses. They're very Renaissance.
Sure.
So I love Renaissance stuff.
Royal portraiture, yeah.
Yeah. Which I feel like I'm heading more so in that direction of like more regal, portraits and stuff, or whatever clients want to come in and do that. Yeah, I think it's always, that for me is where I went from doing pop culture faces. I did like a whole pop culture show that was pretty sick, and it just had like, like Justin Bieber and all these cool like guys of like 2017, that were popping at that point. Yeah, and that was really fun and like sick.
You did like a Post Malone, right? Didn't you?
I did not, but that would have been a good posty one would have been sick.
It's like all the hieroglyphics.
Yeah. Dude, I have some Post Malone Crocs that I wear every day. So
we got to do Aaron fucking Carter, because he went.
Aaron Carter would be. You got to do it. You got to do Aaron Carter one.
If you have, like, first of all, any kind of money, maybe he doesn't, maybe he does, whatever. Why do you just get a tattoo that looks like melanoma on half your head?
Oh, dude, that's the move.
Get a good face tattoo. That's why I like Birdman. Why does Birdman he gets the tattoos in prison, but he's not in prison? I don't get it, dude. I don't get it.
You gotta get it out. You gotta get your clout up, man. You gotta get your cred up.
So what do you think that I should tattoo Tupac's face on my face?
I think you should tattoo.
That way I could be.
Oh, you know what you should
rapper,
do?
like I've always wanted to be.
You should tattoo Van Gogh right here, but he's a teardrop, and he's crying.
I have like a little gangster.
a little gangster.
I didn't really expect this to be how the podcast went, but I'm liking it. Yeah, I have like a natural teardrap, so I'm like crybaby.
I like that. Yeah, crybaby.
I thought about tattooing it years ago, but I'm like, it's already there. You don't have to tattoo. It's already. You don't have to be a gangster. Plus, I never killed nobody.
A gangster. Your Irish comes out when you say the gangster.
Oh, I thought that was my Jamaican. My Jamaican.
A Jamaican.
Dude, do you ever
Jamaican
think
gangster.
Irish and Jamaican, it's the same. It's almost the same.
Oh my God, totally.
Dude. So it's like top of the morning to ya. Bye.
Why are the Irish and Jamaicans so cool? That's what I love it, man. It's like
they're really
the culture
super
is
high,
very,
and they're super high on whiskey,
dude.
weed and whiskey, and then
Just
sometimes
cross-faded culture.
Sometimes they
Dude,
intertwine
if I
and
was
people get
Jamaican,
stabbed on a bus in London.
Dude, if I was Jamaican and we did a show, it'd just be like we call it cross-faded.
Crossfados Barbados. Can we please do a group show? Can we do a show with like you, me, and just one other cat who's like similar to us, but not really Barbados. Us, and call it Crossfados Barbados.
Crossfados Barbados. All right, we're gonna sit on this one, and then
we're gonna we'll chew on it. We'll chew on it.
We'll chew on it.
Yeah,
we'll chew on that
chew
one.
on it like a vegan hors d'oeuvre, which is what we'll have at the show. But no white wine and no white people. We're not letting any whites come to the show.
Sorry, you can't even come yourself.
Oh no! My grandma's black.
Oh, okay, there we go. Is she really? I would believe you.
She really is not. But I used to tell people in high school that because I wanted to be a rapper so bad. I'm not even kidding.
That's illegal in most states.
It is probably. Oh man. So okay, let me see. So your strongest work, that is so dope. Oh, yeah, this is a side note. So your dad was in the NFL. I think I saw that a year ago or something, just perusing the gram. And so how do you think that shaped anything about your life, if anything?
So yeah, I mean, he's been a pretty impactful human in my life. I feel like he's definitely gave me work ethic that I could, strive for. And I think he's definitely been supportive overall of like my career and everything. Financially, it's kind of been myself through this whole journey, sadly.
That's probably why you're doing well.
Oh man,
you're not like Corey Feldman or something. You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah.
Like, I mean, I said, a Porsche would be nice. Willie Gault.
Porsche would be nice, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm at the point where I'll take anything. Hell, give me whatever you got, and I will take it. I will use any source I can.
My father, he was supportive insofar as he'd be like, "That's dope. I don't like that." And there was no like, oh, you're such a special baby. There was none of that. My grandmother, that's her job. She's like, everything you do, you're a singer, you're just a dancer, you're Irish.
Yeah.
I'm like, Irish? That's not an achievement. Anyway, but my father, he shaped my creative empowerment insofar as being like, that rabbit you just drew in 5th grade is like earth changing. But I don't really like the frog that you did as a pile of puke.
Oh yeah, I feel like he's been supportive and like
did he get it? Did he always like get it or whatever?
Oh, not at all, because he is a big sports guy. So it's like art. What are you doing art for? You could be doing baseball.
Are you gonna be doing hair and makeup next?
Yeah.
Pussy.
You're gonna be painting your nails. Like I do paint my nails, so yes,
I don't have any nails.
Correct.
No nails yet, but I do. I don't bite them anymore, so that's kind of a start. I used to bite them and tear them off until I realized at 37, dude, you can just clip them.
I still bite mine. Yeah, man. I feel like there's been a lot of kind of father figures in my life, thankfully, that have been very I have like an art dad. I have a, my manager is also feels like my friend, best friend, and my dad at
I
the
was gonna
same time.
ask, yeah, I
And then
wanted to
my
make
dad feels like my dad. So it's like, all right, cool.
that's like my three dads, dude.
Yeah, my three
Is that a
dads.
show?
That should be. I feel like it is
That
a
is,
show,
I
but
think it was a show in the
you
80s. That's
know,
how old I am, dude.
okay.
Um,
My three
I wanted
dads.
to ask you, you do have an art manager, like so you have management.
I do. I
Okay.
do. I have my manager Justin, and he's helped me and been with me since 2000, beginning of 2018. I want to say.
Yeah.
And since then it's kind of just been like he's been great guidance. He used to manage Separate Ferry back in the day, like around early 2000s, and I found him randomly. Like there are no art managers, just managers who know about art.
Did you ever
And
know a guy called Warren Brand? Do you know Branded Arts at all?
oh, Warren Brand.
He's a little bit involved in
Brand?
facilitating
That sounds
a
very
lot of the
familiar.
murals that go around LA
I
and
I feel
elsewhere.
like I probably do.
I had a meeting with him once, but the thing that I am excited to talk to you about and other artists going forward in this podcast, and we got to do another episode as well, is I want to cherry pick, like, what are you guys doing that I'm not doing? What
Yeah,
can we do as a like community, lack of a better word?
yeah.
Because I just feel like I'm like La Petite Prince. I'm out on this little planet in the middle of nothing, and I'm just like trying to
I think
organize everything around producing the work, and then everything else is just noise.
it's all about emulating what's working and making it your own. And I think that like when I was kind of taught this because I'm around like a lot of good, successful social media YouTubers and stuff and TikTok and all that stuff. But the way you kind of want to go about it is like emulate what is working and what people are gravitating towards in that space. So like for me, I changed at one point, it was like I changed the way my images were, like made them bright, made them,
Mm.
poppy, eye catching. It's all about eye catching on the internet. Sadly, that's just like what we live in, where like, oh, I stopped taking pictures like against, a brick wall, made it like a white wall, like it's in a gallery. And it's all like
Okay.
perceptions
You mean
too,
the work,
where it's like
photographing the work, you mean?
photographing the work
So
properly.
eyeballs are on the work and not the da 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 da.
Yeah, yeah. And I think proper just stimulating stuff. I think like even with our artwork, it's like what color is gonna look good with this and what can I think of that makes sense like with the work, like what maybe it was like a portrait I wanted to do where the guy had on a red shirt and you like I'm like, okay, maybe I can do it, you know, uh blue background and he's had like a sad history or something, something
So
conceptual
you're
with it.
creating
You're
story,
creating
whether the audience
yeah,
knows it or not. So it's almost like a Tarantino. Like he knows he knows the name of the blacksmith who made the fucking boots in the movie.
yeah,
He knows all that crazy shit.
no,
Yeah,
exactly.
interesting.
Exactly.
It's
And I
funny,
think it's
yeah.
connecting, it's all about connecting with other artists. I feel like, you can try to, because when I first got into the LA kind of art scene, I didn't really know anybody, or I didn't know anybody. And then I did one project that just kind of changed it all, and it's kind of taking on crazier things that are way above your your league, So I think I did a building. I painted this building on Mateo Street that was 48,000 square foot. We spent about 3 weeks going back and forth it's like 45 minutes each way.
This is
Used like
an exterior wall.
exterior, yeah. I think I got like $300 for the whole thing. I totally got ripped off on it and stiffed at the end of the project, but I did end
Exposure.
up making exposure, exactly, which is the biggest bullshit once again I can ever think of. But yeah, I mean I met a bunch of people from that whole thing, and that was a life-changing experience. Again, like don't do anything without getting paid, because you should always get paid for your work if
So
somebody wants it.
That's what I wanted to ask everybody who does this show is if you had to tell younger artists who are looking up to you to sort of, it's a journey of your own craziness. So it's hard to, there's no template for your walk through life. But
Yeah.
if you had to tell young artists one thing, that would be exactly that, is at some point you're going to have to cut off exposure people who are offering you zero money
Yeah.
for what you're doing, and you'll have this like Akira moment where you value what the fuck you do, and thus
Yeah.
that'll create inference from outsiders who might be collectors that they should then value it as well. It's like literally a frequency shift, which has now happened with me, where it's like I have this mid-market thing where I'll do like a $2,000 dog portrait that I just sent off today, and try and be really grateful for that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, but it's not a 75-foot wall where I'm getting X amount per square foot and this and that. And it's all about like, just recalibrate what you have,
Yeah.
and be grateful for it. And it's not a fucking overnight thing. So your
It's
glass,
not,
how
and
do you
that's
say
there
glass
forever.
city river
Glass
wall?
City River Wall. Yeah.
Dude, so
And that's
really
not
history making kind of, right? Kind of.
Yeah. I feel like,
But you can't
know,
see it right now,
I can-
probably. It's so like abstract probably to you, right?
yeah, it's almost there, but I feel like, kind of going back to what you were saying, like that feeling never goes away, no matter who you are. Maybe if you're like, fucking up there, you're Damien Hirst or something, and you're just fucking smoking a cigar, you're at the top of the world. But that's like, that's not what I'm really talking about or aiming for. But like that feeling never really goes away, where you feel like in that kind of mindset of
I'm telling
am
you,
I
the goal got met or something.
yeah
Because you always want to kick your own ass. I always want to kick
yeah
my last piece in the ass. Like I'm always like in
oh,
terms
totally.
of I want to get more meticulously. It needs to be more powerful each piece. And if your work is powerful, that's a really hard thing to do. And I imagine Damien Hirst with the cigar dude is like, even he probably has to have imposter syndrome, because he's not at the young British artist thing, coming up with the shark on a napkin in a pub, drunk as shit one night, and then that time when. So if I could say something to young artists, dude, it'd probably be like, cherish the time when you're hacking through the fray of this fucking thing, because there is no golden goal, dude. Like the goal is in the working ideal.
The golden egg is a lie.
Yeah, dude. And if you're I'm vegan, I can't even eat eggs anymore. So
I'm vegan as well.
Oh, dope, dude.
You.
Right on. We'll do a whole nother
awesome.
podcast called Vegans United or something.
There we go. Yeah. Stay tuned.
Stop eating babies. Yeah. So it's for us, it's the golden tofu, dude.
Yeah.
The
golden tofu is never there. It's a spray painted, rock.
The golden foo.
Golden Foo. Oh, that's a good band name. Damn.
Let's open a restaurant, dude.
Golden Foo. That sounds delicious. Golden Foo.
Speaking of not just doing art so you don't hate it, I do music. That's my thing that I kind of completely, and it's all over the YouTube. I got 23 subscribers, baby. I'm doing real well.
Let's go.
No, so it's just like a real, like, totally separate from the art thing, which for me is like multifaceted, but it's like it's always got to be good, and it's commodifiable. And one thing I don't do is my large work. I don't even offer it up for collectors. So it's like, which is paradoxical, because it's like I want collectors to give a shit, but I don't want to sell the work.
I feel like whenever you can,
what are you doing?
I feel like if you can save the piece for a year or something max, because there's been pieces where I'm like, okay, I want to hang on to this, and then like a year goes by and it's like somebody wanted to buy it or was interested or whatever, it's like, no, it's not for sale. And then it's like, oh shit, I'm losing space now. I'm making so much work that I can't even store this old piece, and I really love this new piece, and then it's just like kind of deteriorates on itself, like.
So that's my thinking, is I want to show these works as a collection, but then I'm going to start running out of storage unit space, and I'm going to have to be paying a lot to store them, and So yeah,
Yeah, it kind of balances out at the end where you're like in the position where you need money to have that thing. And it's like you either sell it or you're stuck hanging on to it for a while. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of old pieces that end up in my studio. I feel like a good sell point for me is like after almost a full year of having it, like I'll open up to sell, or like if there's a show I want to keep it for, then I'll try to keep it for that show. But there's been times where like I wanted to put a piece in a show, it didn't happen, so I just like sold it off or whatever, as well. So there's been kind of like random acts of that kind of going around since I started doing canvas paintings and stuff. I feel like most of my work comes from murals at this point, which is kind of interesting. I guess it's like the murals are happening, so I can't really get into the painting as much as I want to on canvas. So it's a weird balance. I don't know.
maybe you designate time, and that's part of your proviso. Next mural, you're like, hey,
Yeah,
dudes,
just
if it's
put some
really
time
something
aside.
that you feel that you're being neglectful of or something, you
Yeah,
just designate that shit on the calendar where I'm like, dude, I have to put at least 3 days or a week, a full 7-day
off
week
to the
where
side.
don't it's fucking nothing but Grubhub and get the fuck out of my face.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I just get into you're hungry.
Yeah,
Just get
I am
into
hungry. Shit,
what are you gonna eat?
everything you say, that's food. You were talking about golden tofu, and I just like want,
I
some
had
kind
a
of good.
burrito before we got on this thing. Garlic vegetables with the beans, with
Oh,
the fucking, with the some of that, with the dude. I'm just trying to fuck with you.
ah,
So yeah, dude. Well,
oh man,
listen, I
that sounds
think
good.
that we have a lot to edit. I think if I might have said
Yeah, yeah,
I might have said
yeah.
7,000 times.
Edit out my ums.
I'm sure I will. I will
Thank you.
you out. Um I just said
Um,
I'm leaving that fucking
please.
in. This podcast is
Anama,
called it's called I See What You're Saying. It was going to be called What You Making, Bro? And then I realized I might actually be talking to more than just bros. Also, my pronouns are duh, because
duh.
got a beard, dude. So no, I'm just kidding.
It
America,
could be anything.
I'll call you whatever you
Come
want.
on, Richard.
I know. What? No, I'm
Gotta,
letting her live.
gotta let it
I
all
know.
hang.
I know. I'm showing my age.
We I have this theory that millennials are the last racists. That's what I've been telling people.
Okay, that's
Not
dope.
true,
Let's do
but
a
I
painting.
like to tell people that.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's like okay, boomer, but I might probably not paint Al Jolson. Maybe not. But I want to because I feel like you're not supposed to, and that makes me like want to punk
Yeah.
rock it. But then I'm like, yeah, but you're you're like Bill Burr. You can't paint certain stuff, and I'm
I
like,
want
well,
to
why
do like
can't I?
a bunch of pills, like the whole thing is filled with pills,
Mm.
and then there's like one small pill. Like if you go up like an inch away, you see Bill Cosby's face. It's just peeping.
Yeah, but do
It's
you
just
really want to do
disastrous.
that? That's an
No, I
impulse.
would never paint that. That's an impulse. I will
Okay.
not paint a bunch of pills with
We're
Bill
not
Cosby.
painting Bill.
That
This
is
is we're
disrespectful,
saying this
and he
here.
should be in jail.
Yeah, what the fuck, America?
Yeah.
That
Come on,
pudding, this
guys.
pudding tastes a little funny, Bill. It's not okay. It's
Ain't
not
falling for that
okay.
again.
It's not okay.
Twice.
Did you ever see the episode? And then we can drop Bill Cosby, but there's an episode of the Cosby
Oh, thank
program where he's making the barbecue sauce. And
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
it's my
Ooh.
secret sauce.
You
And I
just
put
brought back creepiness.
all the women. Yeah, we don't need, let's just drop it.
I saw a TikTok where they did that with like very creepy music. It was, but yeah, it was something like that.
Hey, speaking of moi, there's been a Sopranos marathon happening the last couple of days, and
Oh, nice.
so yesterday I went off the whole food plant based, and I made just like the most ridiculous garlicky Italian meal with Miyoko's.
Ooh,
I wanted to get
sounds so good.
Miyoko's
Oh,
to
Miyoko's
sponsor this podcast, dude. So I want to get Miyoko's.
Miyoko's. Send that matzo this way, please. I
Mozzarella.
need a whole What's the deal?
Mozzarella with the freaking manigot. So yeah, so
need that.
it's delicious. I'm making you hungry. What am I doing?
I had pasta last night, by the way. It was delicious.
Did you? What kind of pasta?
I did Rayo's, a full Rayo's pasta.
Oh,
with
word up,
Rayo's marinara. I can make my own marinara very good though.
Marinare.
Yeah, I'm 7% Italian, so.
Oh my God, I'm 100% not anything cool. My sister, she did the spit in the tubie thing, and like I thought I was gonna be just a little flavor, dude, a little Moroccan. I could dance good. Turns out we're just from the fucking UK, and then a sprinkle of Sweden or some bullshit.
You're just like 100% Essex.
They look at you and they're like, okay, he's got pink nipples. Just send him the Irish, maybe Sweden one. I don't even think they check, dude, because I swear to God, I'm fucking Siciliano.
You are what's in your heart. I think you can be. I think transracial is becoming a thing.
See this shit? This is full Dolezal, baby.
Full Dolezal.
Dude, this has been so fucking awesome. Please let everybody know. I think we'll wrap up just because I know you got to get some mozzarella and some freaking garlic bread.
Dude, you are making me very hungry, and I need to eat as of like now.
So, dude, this has been so awesome. Please promise me, promise to me that you will come back and do the show again, and that when I come to LA, we can get a nice cup of coffee and some mozzarella or something. You know what I mean?
That sounds good.
Because I want to see you work in person.
Restaurant or something. Yeah, man, for sure. I'm trying to get. I'm back in LA till spring, so I'm here for a while. I'm getting married in November, so it's been a lot. I've been to 5 weddings. It's been a lot of shit going on.
You gonna cry?
Probably. I'm sure I will cry during, before, and after the whole thing. So
I love you so much. Dude. Gabe Gault, you can catch his work at gabegault.com.
Yeah, gabegault.com, Instagram, Gabe Gault, TikTok, Gabe Gault. And yeah, check me out on there. And where can they check you out exactly?
Word up. You can check me on Instagram at artist Richard Arthur. There are underscores, but if you just type it in, I'm the only one that looks cool. So, and I don't have a website yet. So I
can confirm that.
Word up. Well, thanks, Gabe. Hey, listen. So just do episode 5 or 10, or we'll figure it out. But we'll chat, and awesome. Love you, dude. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, love you too, man. You're awesome. It's nice to see you in person. I gotta make a movie too. I'm gonna go see this new Venom at like 8:00. So
oh, sick. Okay, run. Yeah. Get some dinner so you don't have to. I gotta eat popcorn. All right. Go.
Get some food with me. All right. Much love.
Later, brother.
Thanks, bud. Bye.